Hi everyone, my name is Christabel Dadzie. I am the founder of Ahaspora Professionals Network. I am an international development specialist by training, a global citizen, proud African and a Ghanaian. And I introduce myself embracing all these personalities because that is why Ahaspora was formed. Aha in Tree means here. Tree is a local dialect in Ghana, and it means here. Spora, stem of the diaspora. So essentially, Ahaspora means we are here from the diaspora, which depicts the new people we are when we return home. Now, Ahaspora was formed 15 years ago in April, and it was formed because I moved home and had this dream that there were many people like me, young professionals, coming back home to come and make a difference. I got up and left the United States of America with a cushy job. Life was good. You pay your bills and everything works. But I just got up one year and decided that it was time to come back home. In June 2010, June 1st to be precise, I got on that plane and I made it to Ghana with a one-way ticket. What I did realize though is that there were not as many people as I would have loved to have come back and made this journey. Then, fast forward to coming back home, this was within the time when there was the US economic crisis, the Wall Street crash. A lot of young Ghanaians had been laid off work, and not by choice, they moved back home. I started having conversations with these guys and realized, though, that once they came home, it turned into a blessing in disguise. They were what we call global and local. And that new setting made them actually extremely prestigious within the private sector. They were now C-suite people coming from Wall Street and being able to do this amazing work in Ghana. So I started thinking to myself, what will make us stay? What will make us give back? And in the process, we formed Ahaspora. On a fine Saturday in my mother's kitchen, and food always works, I invited 12 other friends who came and I told them about the dream. The dream was a movement of African professionals coming back home. And since then, we have been able to support our transition for over 3,000 people who've come back home. In the process, we've also leveraged the human capital of diaspora. I know a lot of people, when you talk about diaspora, they think of remittances. When I think of diaspora, I think of human capital. We are the change that we want to see. And as such, my goal was to see how I can support other people to similarly make this journey. 15 years later, we've had a lot of impact. We've supported the development of the diaspora policy of Ghana, entrepreneurship policy, and so many others. We're also proud that we've been able to showcase ourselves in so many panel discussions on topics from technology to healthcare to education. We're a powerhouse of entrepreneurs and professionals from across the globe. And we've been able to really collectively build our society. My biggest highlights as an Ahasporan, I think the first one is coming back home. I'm telling you, when you get to Kotoka International Airport, there's this wind that just blows in your face, and it's a mixture of humidity, maybe a little bit of hamatan even in the rainy season somehow, and you just know you're home. And there's a feeling that just everything is okay. Even in the stress and the hustle and bustle and the noise, when they say akwaba, you really feel like you've achieved something, you're home. So that's my first achievement. My first achievement is not looking back. And let me be honest, I've been back many, many, many times. I'm really, really committed and connected to the US and other countries, and that's okay. And that's something that I'll say to others also. The one-way ticket is great, but don't wait till there can be a one-way ticket. Make sure that you're attuned into giving back to the continents, first by thinking about it, second by doing something, even if it's helping another organization. So for me, that's my biggest achievement, is coming back. The second biggest one, of course, is being able to put this network together and seeing how we've elevated our stories as a result. Being on different panels where we've discussed the challenges, the successes of being Africans and coming back home, and people listening to our stories and as a result making their own journey has also been extremely fulfilling. Putting the network together hasn't been easy, like any people organization. But the stories and the testimonials that I keep getting about folks that literally got off the plane and were told to come to Ahaspora, and that will allow them to stay and build their networks. Or those who were on their way out and then showed up at a social networking and never left. This is really something I'd call an achievement. I was getting bombarded by people who hadn't left saying, why are you criticizing home when you left and you stayed to do the hard work? At the same time, I was also getting praised by people who understood me when I said, I realized one fine morning that the reason I wasn't as productive as I was before was heat and traffic. And that was a light bulb moment for so many people. And once we started thinking and realizing some of these challenges, we actually opened our minds more to the possibilities of what we could do. We've contributed to Ghana's development in a lot of ways. I remember the Ghana Action Forum, which was Ahaspora 10, where we brought industry experts to come and discuss the Ghana we want. And some of the thinking that came out of it, that we need an identity, we need to know who we are to be able to give back. And the actions that have happened since. Going to Langmine for the first time, watching kids who would never have had a computer be able to play in a smart classroom. These things make it worth it, make it really worth it. The hugs from the people I meet during our social networking saying thank you. So it's surreal. It really is. I will be honest that I did not necessarily go into it thinking that 15 years later we would still be a powerhouse when it comes to diaspora engagement. So definitely a proud moment for me. So actually the Diaspora Roundtables was my action from the Ghana Action Forum, where I committed to have more conversations around issues that pertain to the diaspora, some more intimate discussions where we're all around the table, have a seat, and are able to deliberate on things we can do, but act out as a process, build partnerships. Over time, we coined it to be around collaboration, around community, around celebrating our stories, and around building our culture. And these conversations have been really powerful, having people like Ibrahim Mahama show up and tell his story, explain why he picks dust and literally makes it gold. Having people like Mariama Williams from Sierra Leone, Abubakar Suleiman from Nigeria, Ade Aguse from Benin sit on the same platform and talk about the West Africa we dream to see and how that can happen by building partnerships. The Diaspora Roundtables has been kind of the next phase of what Ahaspora will look like. The last part of Ahaspora's next phase is to see how we can help build Ahasporas across the continent. This was always the dream. The dream was to pick up our model, somebody else picks it up in Nigeria and creates their own, or in Benin or in South Africa. And so I really look forward to having the opportunity together with my team to go to other countries, spread the word, show them what we're doing, and the energy we take leads them to building their own. Imagine diaspora communities like this across the entire continent and what power we could leverage as a result. So to all of you who are out there, not sure if this is what to do, or haven't even thought about the opportunity or the possibility, I'd say do as Nike says, just do it. Just do it. Come home. There is plenty of space for all of us. There's a lot of room for innovation. There's a lot of room for impact. And quite frankly, there's a lot of room for making money. I mean, the continent is it. We have a lot of resources. We have good people. We have opportunity that you don't necessarily get when you live abroad. So I would say just do it. That's one. That's easy. But I also say do it for you. Don't do it because somebody said come. Don't do it because it seems like the next thing to do. Because when the going gets tough, you need to remember why you made that journey. You need to remember the purpose, your raison d'etre. You need to remember, like me, why you slashed your salary into 3 and still came. And then at that point, nothing else matters, because that's when you do big things. In the words of Fritz Swanika, do hard things. We need to do hard things, right? We need to be the change we want to see in our continent. And how better will it be that you'll be able to put your name on a change that is visible on this side of the world because you joined the progress train. So join me. I call it the progress train because I believe in it. I believe that there is so much more we can do and do together. We do need a critical mass. So it is important that as you're thinking about making the journey, you connect with us. Together, we truly can. So do make sure you get in touch, www.ahaspora.com, or find other affinity groups similar to ours that help you build as you get here. Building to scale is the way to build Africa's development.